somewhere out there in the vast nothingness of space.
Okay, so this morning I had an out-of-body experience, but it was different. It was a complete artificial out-of-body experience. And I was asking for an experience. Okay, so, and I knew it was an artificial out-of-body experience when I was placed in the scenario. And basically I was placed in a house, and then I walked up to the wall, because every time I'm out of body, lots of times I like to walk around and touch things, because I'll be like, wow, everything still feels physical. And I started to have millions and millions of out-of-body experiences in 2004, like almost every afternoon or early morning. And so I'd go around touching things like, wow, everything still feels physical. Okay, so in this one, I did the same thing. So I walked up to the wall, and I started touching the Mexican blanket that was hanging up. The aliens copied that from me because I used to have a Mexican blanket hanging on my wall in several apartments. So they copied that from me. And yeah, so I went up and touched the blanket, and I'm like, wow, everything feels physical. Okay, so then, I mean, it still felt physical. That's what I was thinking, when I touched it, because I knew I was out of body, but I knew it felt very artificial. And so I walked up to the wall and felt the blanket, and I was just like, wow, it still feels physical. Okay, so then I went on into this big bedroom, and I don't know what house I was in or anything. It wasn't a very good experience. The aliens aren't energized right now, so I haven't been getting a lot of good experiences lately. Okay, so anyway, so I walked into a bedroom, a big bedroom, and there was like 7, 8 people in single beds, like individual people in single beds. And some were men, some were women, and I remember recognizing at least 2 to 3 people, and I forgot who they were now, but I did recognize at least 2 or 3 people. And anyway, it was like the alien concocted this scenario, and in the scenario I was gonna pick out like who I wanted to be with or whatever, but it never got sexual or anything, because aliens, they're perverts. So it never got sexual or anything, or romantic, but like I say, this experience was kind of fast, and like I say, the aliens were being lazy, because it was an artificial out-of-body experience, and it wasn't real long, and the aliens are just being lazy at the moment. Okay, so that's how that artificial out-of-body experience went down. So I need to put that on my list of my experiences, like lucid dreams, virtual reality, lucid dreams, out-of-body experience, virtual reality experiences, remote views, traveling remote views, and then there's this completely artificial out-of-body experience, where they didn't take my astral body to create it or whatever. Like I know it was completely artificial. And then some of the experiences are ass backwards out-of-body experiences, where they could just pull you out completely awake, and then they save that, ethereal body or energy body or whatever, and then boom, when you go to sleep, they create an out-of-body experience scenario. And okay, so that's how that went down. And then another experience was in 3D, and that was a week ago. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. See, I have a hump on my left side of my nose. Because as far as I remember, I got that hump, I think, from getting hit in the nose with basketballs and tether balls. But on the right side of my nose, I don't have a hump or anything. But about Tuesday or Wednesday, I noticed this hump on my right side of my nose, and it hurt. It was sore, and it was not a pimple. You know, you could tell the difference between a pimple and like a foreign object or whatever. It just did not seem like a pimple at all. It seemed like a foreign object. And so I was asking like my spirit guide and stuff, is it like a dissolvable alien implant? Because a few years ago I woke up and I noticed a little white thingy on the top of my eyelid, and it wasn't there when I went to bed. It wasn't a sty, and then sure enough, the next morning, it had dissolved and disappeared. So yeah, they're putting like dissolvable alien implants in people. Dissolvable implants that are physical, and then they dissolve and disappear. And what's that thing? What was I just thinking about? Carla Turner said, crap, I can't remember. Okay, but anyway, I know she never talked about that. Dissolvable alien implants. And of course, some implants are literally just kind of semi-physical, and some are just physical, and then most of mine are ethereal. I have this one on the top back of my head, and it's completely ethereal, but like the one in the bottom of my mouth seems totally like semi-physical, because sometimes I can feel it, sometimes I can't. But anyway, I thought I was going to say something about an implant. Crap, I can't remember. A comment that Carla Turner made, and I can't remember. Okay, well anyway, nobody's ever talked about dissolvable alien implants, but I know they exist because I've had 2 of them. So anyway, but it was really getting on my nerves because it was sore, and it kept making my nose like all tingly. The nerves all the way up into my like pituitary gland, like that tingly feeling. So it was really getting on my nerves. Okay, so I noticed that about last Tuesday or Wednesday, and then by Sunday morning, it completely went away. So it was from like Tuesday to Sunday. And my spirit guide, she did say that it was going to go away. So sure enough, it did. And now it's not even there, and now it's not making my nose tingly, my nerves tingly all the way up to my pituitary gland or whatever. And yeah, they probably are the cause of my screwed up pituitary gland and that tumor that I had. They probably are the cause of that. They probably didn't mean to, but because I've had all these, living in these other realities, so to speak. I never looked at it that way till somebody made a comment about that. But I've had all these awesome lucid dreams all my life, virtual reality, OBE lucid dreams, where it felt like I was in another dimension. All my life I've had those experiences. Just walking around, doing normal, mundane things, sitting there with my grandma, my mom, my sister at a little strip mall in a strange city, strange dimension, eating lunch at this restaurant. I mean, I've had those all my life. And so yeah, they probably are the cause of my pituitary gland screw up or whatever. But okay, so that was that experience with the dissolvable alien implants. And like I say, that one time about 3 years ago, I had this little white thing at the top of my eyelid when I woke up, and it wasn't there when I went to bed. And that one dissolved within 24 hours. I know what I was gonna say. How Carla Turner mentioned how they can like pop something down your throat. Well, I was completely awake when that happened. I guess it was a vitamin they shoved down my throat. It felt freaking physical. Maybe it was ethereal, I don't know, but it felt physical. I had my eyes closed, and I was just kind of like, taking a little nap in my car, on my break at work, and like they popped something invisibly. They were there invisibly, popped something down my throat. They put something down my throat, and it was like I say, I guess it was a vitamin or something. I don't know, but it felt freaking physical. I don't remember feeling any different or anything after that. But they do all these weird things, and it's like, who knows why they do it, Because I don't remember feeling, any different after that, but it could have been a vitamin or something. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, she's talked about that before, but I've never heard her talk about dissolvable alien implants. But, I mean, there'd be a lot of things nobody ever heard of with the aliens. Like nobody's ever heard of how they communicate. And I'm sure they've tried it with other people too. I guarantee you. Communicate. The reptilians like to communicate with me by 1980 pop songs, early 1990s and late 1970 pop songs. And well, yeah, nobody's ever heard of that because only 10 people in the world are enlightened to their experiences. Because one thing they do, with a lot of people is they put black people in their scenarios. If they're a white person or whatever, the reptilians are known to do that. And I know, so I'm sure the reptilians have tried to do that with many people, try to communicate to them by pop songs and stuff. But nobody ever pays attention, so nobody's ever going to know but me or whatever. Okay, so then there's that experience, my artificial OBE, miscellaneous. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, another thing. Okay, another thing was like this has happened many, many, many times at work, but and it can even happen here if I'm kind of concentrating on something or reading something off the computer or whatever. But mainly at work, like when I'm on the computer and I'm thinking about the aliens, and I was specifically thinking about the 2004 incident at the 24-hour fitness center, where I went in there on a Saturday and it was completely dead, and this he was an interdimensional alien that came walking in, and he wasn't a hologram, he was completely physical. He stalked me, and at that time I didn't realize it was an interdimensional alien, and it was a reptilian. And so I was specifically thinking about that incident, and I was totally thinking about, I was rethinking that, how he was walking down the aisle, and I turned around and saw him, and he just like, was like staring at me, and I was like, wow, that guy is eerie. And he had, he walked with a limp, and that story is on here. That video is on here, and he had blue jeans on, and then he was just like going around stalking me and mimicking. He went on that leg machine and was like lifting it up and staring at me out of the corner of his eye. And then he disappeared for 45 minutes and then reappeared walking up the steps. Well, anyway, so I was specifically thinking about that experience. And then, so the reptilian was listening, probably that same one. I don't know, but, they could manifest in physical form and reappear and disappear over a period of time. And so anyway, I guess he was like listening, and then he like I say, they've done this many times. Like I don't know how to explain it, but they'll like jar my brain. They'll jar my implant in my brain or whatever, or give me like a ping. Like, I don't know, or give me like a jolt. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right word. But anyway, but this time it was like a pretty hardcore one. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I'm thinking, like, butthole, you're gonna like screw my pituitary gland up again or whatever. You know what I mean? But it didn't hurt my pituitary gland or anything. But he gave me a pretty big jolt. And like I say, they've done that many, many times. When I'm at work, like thinking about him or thinking about aliens or whatever. But like I say, this was a hardcore type of electrical, not electrical, energetic like jolt to the, I don't even know, not the brain really, just kind of, I can't explain it, like inside of the head, you know what I'm saying? Some people probably know what I'm talking about, but this was the most powerful one they've ever done. And like I say, I was specifically thinking about that incident, And like I say, the funny thing is, he did not have black leather gloves on. But yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't know, if he was really trying to scare me or whatever, you know what I mean? Or if he was just being quirky. But like I say, he did not have, his hands were in his pocket, his blue jean jacket pocket. He had a short blue jean jacket on. His hands were in his pocket when he started walking down the aisle. And like I said, this was on a Saturday night. There was 3 people in the whole damn place. And it was a pretty big place. It used to be a movie theater. But anyway, yeah, when he disappeared for 45 minutes and then started walking up the steps, and then he stood behind me, he had his hands out of his pockets, and he had black leather gloves on. Okay, but anyway, and like I said, he wasn't a hologram, he was physical. Because he was lifting up the leg machine and everything as he was, as I was moving around the gym, and then he kept following me and like looking at me and staring at me, and it was very, very creepy. But okay, so it's probably that same one that jarred my brain. I really don't know. Okay, so that was one weird thing that they do a lot. And then this other experience was just let's see, about a couple weeks ago, I was under this lucid dream, out-of-body experience lucid dream, and I was already having, thoughts of my parents' neighbor, because I was over there, and, there's like, the parents are living there, but the mom's about to die, though, and then the 2 kids are living there, and the mom and dad's living there, so there's like, and 2 dogs, so there's like 2 dogs, 6 people living in that small house, and so I was having all those thoughts, about my parents' neighbors and stuff. And they're a pretty young couple. And anyway, so aliens created this scenario where I was, out of body under this lucid dream, and we were standing in a park. And anyway, and it was a long drawn scenario. We were talking, and what was that one thing where I forgot what it was, but I know I can't remember the wife or the husband got mad at me or something for doing something, but I forgot what it was now, because this was like 2 weeks ago. And because I was standing there, something I said, and the husband or the wife got mad at me, but anyway, I can't remember what it was now, though, because I asked a question, and oh man, I can't remember what it was, but anyway, that doesn't matter. But the only thing I wanted to say about that experience was the husband was like, oh, here's my wife's, hobby. Ew, I wonder if she really does have a hobby where she sketches, pencil sketches. I really don't know. I'll have to ask my mom if she's mentioned any hobbies that she does. The wife or whatever. But anyway, so under the scenario, like the aliens are really good pencil sketch artists. Well, they're good at everything. They make everything immaculate looking and perfection. So, the husband was like, oh, my wife likes to do pencil sketching. And as far as I remember, I think another one of her hobbies was, and there's picnic benches there too. And another thing I think, as far as I remember, that she said she liked to do was sewing and stuff. But anyway, I remember the husband talking, and the other hobby was like pencil sketching. And so the alien basically, or the husband or the wife, I can't remember the alien created the scenario, but I can't remember if it was the husband or the wife, I think it was the husband, showed me this big piece of white paper, and it had at least 4 or 5, oh my god, at least 20 immaculate perfection little images, pencil sketch images, and one of them was a camera. It was like a drawing of a camera, and there was like a house, and I can't, if I would have wrote a bunch of them down after I woke up, I would have remembered a lot more, but there was at least 20 images, pencil sketch images, that she sketched on this big white piece of paper. And the funny thing is, I wonder if the alien was copying off my brother, because I don't think he does much of it or whatever, but he's always been a really good, like, pencil sketch artist or whatever. I wonder if the alien was copying off of that and put that in my scenario. Yeah, that's possible. But yeah, they were just all immaculate drawings. And like I say, one was a camera, another one was a house, and I think there were some animals, but I can't remember what they were exactly. But there was at least 20 images on a big piece of paper. It was much bigger than a normal piece of paper, like 3 times bigger than a normal 8 by 11 white piece of paper. anyway, that's my experiences. Thanks for listening.